Every year, 35,000 high school students participate in a special event. They build robots and compete against each other.
The robots are just a vehicle.
It's a sport of the mind, but it's about much more than just winning.
If I didn't have robotics, I would be a dull person.
These guys get sucked into math and science.
Each team is in for the experience of a lifetime.
When we take you outside, are we going to wear across your chest that you're all a bunch of convicted felons? No.
And in the end, these students will gain a whole new understanding of math, science, and technology.
I've definitely learned a lot about mechanical and things like that. And I've also learned a lot about leadership and about being part of a team and really learning to love a team.
They have 45 days to build their robot. It begins now. Today is kickoff for this year's first robotics competition.
We'll go down around this one.
Put on by the national nonprofit organization FIRST for inspiration and recognition of science and technology, the competition sets out to inspire young people to be science and technology leaders, even at Ridgeview Academy, a Colorado correctional facility that houses teenage felons.
My name's Adam Ochoa, I'm 17 years old. Been at Ridgeview for 8 months. I was on probation. I got a charge for being intoxicated and trespassing and assault, and they took me in. We went to trial and all this.
There are rookies who come in with baggage. They've been told that they're not good at math, they're not good at science, that they ought to be, do you want fries with that burger is what you ought to expect in life.
For a small group of students from an inner-city high school in Baltimore, this is their first trip to the robotics competition. They are an all-girls rookie team.
My name is Sami and I'm an exchange student from Afghanistan. Our team name is RoboDoves.
The RoboDoves are an eager, young, bright group of girls, curious about science and technology and how it fits into this world. And I think this first program is exactly what they need to show them how it all fits together.
The veteran Wissahickon team from outside Philadelphia is expected to go far in this year's competition and has been invited to the national kickoff in Manchester, New Hampshire.
One of the things that makes Wissahickon unique and special is we're very dedicated to mentoring others, to getting kids inspired. Inspiration is one of our big goals, trying to get kids hooked into math, science, and technology. So I think that's one of the things that we're pretty well known for, besides just the on-field success that we've had. Ratchet Rockers.
The Wentzville, Missouri team is in their 4th year of competition.
Kickoff is amazing. We go to the St. Louis Science Center. This year we had a lot of rookies on the team. Their eyes are just huge, like there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this. But the other kids, they'll take them under their wing, they'll help them out, they'll show them how to do things.
At nearly 50 kickoff cities from across the United States, teams gather to hear about this year's challenge for the first time. They don't know what type of problems they will have to solve, what type of robot to build in order to win.
Welcome to the 2008 First Robotics Competition Kickoff, live from Manchester, New Hampshire.
Greetings! We put FIRST together because of a couple of fundamental principles. We believe that in a free society, you get what you celebrate. We celebrate sports. There's nothing wrong with it. We celebrate entertainment. There's nothing wrong with that. But in our culture, somehow they became so big, they were crowding out, particularly for lots of kids, and particularly women and minorities, they were crowding out the opportunity to celebrate science, technology, inventing, creating, thinking, solving problems. And we said, we're going to create a competition that's every bit as exciting and every bit as rewarding and every bit as accessible as bouncing a ball or standing on a stage. Having said all of that, we now should get to the new game.
The goal of this year's game is to build robots that can manipulate 40-inch balls and race around a track. 2 alliances compete in each match, scoring points by completing laps and moving the balls off, over, and back onto an overpass. Offensive and defensive strategies are allowed. After the presentation, team members and coaches pick up identical building kits that contain all of the parts needed to build their robots. Teams can also raise money to buy additional parts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What's up?
Mr. Karpinski is our coach. He retired from NASA a few years ago. He seems confident about what we can do.
You get this kit of parts, which are 2 big boxes. There's no instructions for anything, except some of the basic stuff, how things are laid out. But they have to decide how it's supposed to look, how it's supposed to drive, everything about it. They need to use everything that they know how, all their combined intelligence on, you know, how can we make this thing do whatever it's supposed to do.
This school is designed around being an alternative to being in jail. We are a 500-bed residential facility. If this facility didn't exist, the kids would be locked up somewhere. If I find disrespect flying in this team, the staff and I will sit down and I'm going to make the recommendation to remove the student from the team. And then I will sit with that student and I will tell that student exactly why that student is being removed from the team. And don't think it hasn't happened.
I mean, there's going to be things stopping us, so I mean, we just got to get as much work as we can in the amount of period of time that we got.
I agree.
I guess I'm just have that nervous excitement before a sporting event, like when you're just ready to go and you're pumped. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. We're going over for our first brainstorming session. It's really a big day for the kids. You know, every team across the country is doing the exact same thing at basically the exact same time. We have a lot of people in the community that get inspired by what we do. Even if they're not into science and technology, they see the dedication of the kids. They see that if you work hard at something, that you can be successful.
You excited? I'm excited.
My job is to sort of step back just a little bit and make sure that all the good ideas are coming to the top. So I feel like a heavy responsibility to make sure that that happens properly. The whole point of today is for all ideas, no matter how crazy you think it is, to come to the top. So the fundamental challenge for this year's robot is to push, lift, or throw a giant 10-pound ball on a court about the size of a volleyball court. We've been doing this 9 years, and I think this is one of the biggest challenges we've ever faced.
Either you design a mechanism to be able to actually grab it and hurdle it, or you can just take a piston and just hit it.
Let's do that.
With a 10-pound ball dropping like 6.5 feet at the minimum, if that lands on top of any part of your robot and it's not really well protected, your robot's destroyed.
We have to come in like this to grab it.
Oh wait, no, that wouldn't.
No.
Sure, we're having casters.
No.
No casters.
No, I'm talking about like.
We don't have any practical ideas for the arm, which is a problem. You lift it off, possess it, and bring it down.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Basically that.
All right, I'm ready to speak.
Kyle is one of those guys that you can count on. He takes care of the shop, he takes care of the pit, he makes sure that people are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Listen up. Thank you, Greg. We were thinking of doing a forklift design. You have your 2 skids, but have them with an arc in them, like the picture shows. A curve, sorry. And the curve will let you cradle the ball almost, so you don't really have to worry about getting hit from like the left to the right so it doesn't pop out or anything.
I'm just trying to imagine this. So wait, you're saying you're going to expand it out like this and try and hug the ball from the sides? Not like total sides.
You're not really like grabbing onto it, but
like,
you're scooping.
Okay.
First order of business, unload the parts and make an inventory. Okay? There's a lot of parts. Those are little DC motors.
Crush you.
Wow. There are some things that we can put together that are standard, like a gearbox. Okay? And we have 2 of them to put together.
Oh, good.
Most of the people think that if you're Muslim, they do not allow their women to go out to get education or to work outside. This does not fit them. I think it's not true because it depends on how you think about something or how you think about your future. If you think about future, nothing can stop you to go out to get education or to think or to solve a problem.
Done?
Yeah.
Done? Good girl. Good job. Any country relies upon its technical base to solve the problems at hand. Almost anything you name, the solution involves science and technology. If we don't pay attention to that, we are going to be on the short end of the stick.
Okay, so we built 2 gearbox, and this is gearbox, and gearbox is what that it controls the movement of the robot.
We're in Wentzville, Missouri, which is about 40 minutes or so west of St. Louis. We're right at the edge of suburbia, but we're also rural. We got city meeting country.
First off, today's the 3rd day of the first week of our competition, and so our intentions by today are really to have a really good idea of what the design is going to be looking like, and start ordering parts. So if you have an idea, come to us and say something. Even if in the past we've said, well, that's a bad idea, it might be a good idea by now.
Right. Eric is one of our co-captains. He spent the bulk of his time working on the design and especially on how we're going to achieve the task this year, lifting up the 40-inch ball. He was very good at organizing everyone, getting everyone together, making sure no one was left out.
That'll give you a little bit of an extra nudge. But if we get a bigger sprocket like we had originally planned last year,
Michael was one of the kids who graduated last year, and he's in college now, but he came back to help out.
It's only half of what we calculated. Okay, and these come down to some gear or some motor down at the base of the robot?
The team is only this was their 4th year. They still have a lot of things to work out. They can see possibilities now. A lot of these kids like this, the really intelligent ones, they don't really have anything at school to do. You know, it's all, you know, directed at sports or something.
This is really one of the only places where you find a bunch of people that get together and really just say, hey, what can we do and how can we do it?
Dress it down on great feet. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
In Colorado, the team at Ridgeview still has not begun building their robot. Just now they get around to opening their kit.
Alright, everybody get with your checklists and find a part. Vibration isolators, pressure gauge, guys.
It engages and enlists. It's as exciting as sports and entertainment. That's engaging. Here's a new potential future for you. Here's a career that you haven't thought about. And now I've said that, let me prove it to you. Let's actually do something.
That night, the team attends a basketball game. What happens after the game might spell the end for the robotics program.
We had a varsity basketball game and probably had about 350 of our students in the gym, along with probably about 200 people from the public. And we had 3 boys at the end of the game. They were able to evade us, and we lost them.
Sit tall on one, ready? One! Ready? One! You who are not in that desk need to be in that desk, please.
The escape has severe consequences for the robotics team.
Look, fellas, we all know what happened last night, right? Did you guys have a chance to talk about what's going to happen?
Minimum 1 week sanction right now.
Okay.
And this episode has raised fears among the correctional staff. What if the same thing happens when the robotics team leaves the facility to compete with their robot next month?
So the point is that you're going to have peers who...
4 days later, the escapees are caught. But because of the disruption, the robotics team has fallen several days behind schedule. They still have not begun to build their robot. The Miss Daisy team doesn't have these kinds of problems. They're able to design their robot on a computer before they even start building.
Basically what CAD is, it's computer-aided drafting, and what we do is we get dimensions from the robot that the mechanical team builds, and we put it in on the computer.
Dan, he's very technical. He's a guy with a plan, and that's really been playing out, and he's been proving himself with that, with the CAD work that they've been doing.
So far, this is what they have, and we can add some more on it just to make it better.
You know what? This piece here needs to be flipped.
The things that are looming that I worry about is this whole sort of nebulous concept of what our grabber is going to be. I think all we need is like a gentle tilt back just to bring it off. Yeah. And I think that's something we really, really have to watch out for, is that we don't build this perfect machine from the neck down and then it can't finish off the play. Yeah. There's a rule that there's an 80-inch cylinder and the robot always has to be inside of that 80-inch cylinder as it's lifting, so that could cause us some problems. Bring it down to like Logan's eye level. Straight towards me. Yeah, it's 98. We're not fitting in the cylinder doing this. It's a serious problem. I mean, it's very restrictive. It really limits what you can do in the range of motion. Can you make an 80-inch cylinder that goes about, say, 8 feet high, right? Okay. Transparent, to put the robot in. Yeah, as soon as you can get that, that would be good, all right? You're all good, Greg? Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, thanks.
Our claw or whatever is gonna start folded up and then will come out afterwards.
Logan is one of our design leaders. What he really does is works from his heart, but he really comes up with creative design solutions.
It's terrible.
Envelope a little more.
Have kind of the main mast.
Yeah.
Go back and then.
We're ahead of schedule right now.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
After 3 weeks of building, the Ratchet Rockers are ready to test drive the base of their robot for the first time.
All right. First test with the new code. Let's see if it works, guys.
You're destroyed.
A robot's a killer. So good times. This is a robot. Woo!
It works.
Today was the first day.
Yeah.
We have it driving.
Around. Our goal by the end of today or tomorrow is to get it to work well.
Drive forward.
Right, drive forward. That's always a plus. But our system that involves the arm is going to be something completely new. I can almost guarantee we'll have to redo it or build 2 of them. So we want to get started on that today. We should have that done by Saturday night.
We got to put this motor on. Okay, you're going to put the gear. Okay, this is the...
So you want like an outer check?
With 2 weeks to go, the Robo-Dubs from Baltimore have done what the other teams could not. They have finished their robot early. Today will be their first test run.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Okay. Yeah.
5 weeks.
Holding, right?
5 weeks.
Very good.
It's a huge accomplishment, and a moment that neither the team nor Ron Karpinski will ever forget, no matter if they win or lose the actual competition.
Say one left, right left. Cookie stuff.
And that's what we have. That's this year's robot. 12 days out of ship day. Want wheels on it?
Nice.
They want wheels on it.
Another team brought in a robot yesterday and they were already all done, had everything all done, you know, and we're just like, had a chassis, a bunch of aluminum welded together basically.
That ball weighs almost 8 pounds, and there's going to be 4 of those on the track, potentially anyway. If you have something that's not very robust or strong, it's going to get broken.
There we go. Get in.
The Rambotics have designed a robot with a defensive strategy. They do not plan to lift or throw the balls.
We're gonna have like this little pneumatic system that while we're over the rack with the balls on top, this shoots up and knocks the ball off.
The team is trying its best to complete the robot.
Yep, this is our chassis we're working on. We're building our bumpers right now, trying to get it running by the end of today, so that's our goal.
Yet their best does not seem to be good enough. In the face of all these obstacles, Adam and several members of the team seem to lose their motivation.
Well, he just wanted us to not be standing there not doing anything, is what he really wanted.
The attitude in this room stinks. The culture in this room stinks. We do not tolerate negative peer associations or negative peer attitudes.
The tough love approach seems to work.
Take the robot with you.
The robot finally starts to come together, just in the nick of time.
Okay, I want you to turn on the receiver first. Is the green light on? Okay, there it is. Gentlemen, the robot is
alive.
Alive. So does it turn on a dime?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it does. So why do we need such a maneuverable robot?
There's going to be a lot of robots on the field that we're going to have to drive around, drive through, and all that.
This kind of robot is a
Herder.
herder. Now, with the right driver, this robot can go
Anyway.
take away balls from the opponents. Make sense? I like it. I know.
Things have kept falling apart that aren't supposed to fall apart. We keep thinking things are going to work and then they don't work. And then things that have been working keep breaking.
Natalie gets a fire under people and gets them moving. She also is a very strong person with mechanical design, mechanical build.
That's not going to work.
Okay, bolts right down on the ground.
We were running out of time, so we just stopped and we decided to go with air cylinders. So we're going to have 3 positions of air cylinders. So you'll have an slightly extended position down, fully contracted in the horizontal and then fully extended in the upper. But the problem is, you know, we're almost near the end and we had to put an entire pneumatic system onto the robot, which not only is time, but you know, it's electrical work, it's air work, but it also adds weight.
Slider. The bottom one's just lining up. So
this is really going to be the most difficult part of the robot right now that we're doing.
The pressure is getting to everybody. The next morning, the team tries again, and they finally catch the break they've been waiting for.
Automatic.
We finally got the pneumatics working, which is a good thing. And now we're adding a weight to it. See if the motor can handle that, and see if the piston can have enough force to actually extend the arm when there's a 10-pound ball attached to it.
Nice, 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 nice. Excellent.
The arm can lift up a 10-pound weight, so we're in great shape, actually.
Grabbers, you know, design, it's actually formed to the ball. They have the curvature of the ball, and we'll use this grabber material in here.
With the pneumatics in place, it seems that all systems are go for Miss Daisy.
All right, we have 2 days to finish a robot. We have 2 weeks worth of stuff to do.
I mean, we're not going to do well at this competition. We're not. You know, and I'm one of those positive people that thinks we're going to, I always think we're going to do well. We're not.
Caitlin, she's a pretty live wire. Caitlin, I got a question for you. Why now are you getting into actually wanting to work on the robot?
I found it really interesting. It was just really cool, and I don't know, I felt like I was doing more for the team. Like,
The Wentzville team rallies and focuses on solving the remaining technical problems.
Are we ready? I don't know. As far as competing goes, yeah, we can be there and we can compete. We have something that can drive around, and our arm can knock a ball off the rack. But picking the ball up, I don't know.
We have a big day coming up. Big 3 days. Big weekend.
Don't screw it up, people.
So don't screw it up for us. In other words, have a lot of fun.
Back in Pennsylvania, the arm finally works on Miss Daisy's robot. But with 1 day to go, yet another problem creeps in.
Well, unfortunately, our robot's overweight. Switching to the pneumatic system got our arm and grabber to work, but this added more weight than we expected. Now we're way over the maximum 120 pounds, and we're running out of time.
And then we probably have another half a pound on just nuts and bolts that overextend.
That's before you hog that out.
And before you hog this out.
Pound and a half.
Pound and a half for each, yeah.
I mean, losing 5 pounds without affecting the stability of the robot. This is a real problem for us, to fix this in only 1 day.
We've still got at least 24 hours to work with this.
But good old diet and exercise isn't going to get it done by tonight.
At this point, yeah, it's okay.
You think each shaft is a pound?
Keep your strip.
You gotta make sure we're under 120.
Look, it is about 100.
Pretty balanced.
119.
Get out of town.
119.
Yeah, we're good now.
After 45 days of building, it's time to compete. There are 41 three-day regionals in the month of March.
We built ours all our own, and it's just our little robot, and we did everything, and it's gonna be awesome. Cool.
Who are we? Big Bar One. Who are we? Big Bar One. Competition week, here we come.
We are the Robo-Dubs, and we're here to say, watch us win every time we play.
On your mark. Let's go. Hey!
Today is the first day of the competition, and I'm really excited because I never thought that it's going to be really this big.
Day one is devoted to setting up pit areas, holding practice matches, and passing a mandatory pre-racing inspection.
Put it in the center.
I'm safety captain. I got a button. Let's make sure we got enough clearance in our aisles and everything's put away nice and neat.
The robotics team is getting ready for its first practice match. Right away, there's a problem for the young men from Ridgeview.
Brooms are malfunctioning. I mean, it's not working properly. The keeper pin that holds the shaft in is bent.
Without a functioning arm, their defensive strategy cannot work. In Annapolis, the Robo-Doves are ready for their first practice match.
I want to get you real close up front, okay? We'll have the 3 groups there. This will be the second match. This will be the third match, okay? Come on forward.
One of 2 all-girls teams we have here at this competition. It's team 25-28.
Our Robo-Doves from Western High
Their robot performs well during practice, and the arm functions as expected. The rookie team has met yet another goal. It's a different story for the Miss Daisy team back in Philadelphia. They run into problems as soon as they walk onto the field. All of a sudden, their robot's arm won't work.
I don't think we're going to be in time.
No, all right.
Back to the pit.
Yeah.
They ruined the thread inside the cylinder so that it was really just sitting in there, and then the air was just like leaking out.
The team repairs the air leak, but 10 seconds into their next practice match, their robot dies.
Ah. Dad, the radio broke.
It's a 1 in a million hit. It probably wouldn't happen again in 1,000 matches.
This is like so statistically improbable, it's not even funny.
In the middle of an emergency repair, the inspector returns.
You need to be inspected so you can compete tomorrow. Come on, let's go.
The robot passes inspection, but the team has missed all its practice matches.
It's not a good feeling. I mean, your whole goal on practice day is to show off for the other teams, to get your drivers some confidence. It's just not going to happen today. Drivers have to go in cold tomorrow and just drive.
Welcome to the St. Louis Regional.
The Wentzville team also faces last-minute inspection problems.
Guys, gals, your bumpers are illegal. Okay, you've got to get them back on right.
We found out our bumpers weren't right, and they did it. They got the bumpers on and got it to the competition just in time.
Their technical problems solved for now, the team finally gets to test their robot in a practice match.
So we're just like, let's just start doing laps.
As day one ends, the Robo-Doves are optimistic.
A good day or a bad day?
Yeah, we did good.
Tomorrow be even better.
I am really nervous for tomorrow because I guess we are fine, everything is fine, but I don't know how we are going to do tomorrow.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time!
Good morning!
It's day two of the competition. Every team has one goal: win as many qualifying matches as possible to make the playoffs. Robots score by circling the field and earn more points by moving the balls off, over, and back onto the overpass. Penalties are given for aggressive behavior. The Wissahickon team must get off to a good start after its disappointing practice day.
We are definitely going to have a good time over the next 2 days.
They win the first match.
We won that one.
And the second one. And the third, with no signs of slowing down.
I think we're the only undefeated team left.
You have to be a little lucky.
Yeah, I have to be lucky.
The Wissahickon drivers push their robot and win every game.
We're 5-0. And, you know, there's a couple other teams that are still undefeated. They still have to play yet, so they could actually jump us.
We're tied. We're exactly tied. This is ridiculous. We need to get 10 more points.
Yes.
It's cool. It's cool. I got it.
Go, bro. All right.
Number one.
The Miss Daisy team finishes the day 8-0.
Robot coming through.
And the Wentzville team is hoping for a strong showing as well. Disaster strikes in an early crucial match. The top of their robot arm breaks apart. The team struggles to repair the arm before the next match. They make it. But 2 matches later, the arm breaks again.
Here's our wheel. Yeah, I see that we lost the wheel. The weld broke? Yeah. Weld broke.
We're at 32 out of 45. It's not bad.
That's not good.
It's not bad-ish.
How did that get broken? When you slammed straight into the wall?
We are redoing our robot because our arm snapped, the weld snapped because Eric ran into the wall.
We actually dressed the arm up to look a little fancy, a little bright lavender and lime green. So we're hoping the flashiness will add to our success.
Get the blue ball! No, no, no! Blue ball! Yeah! Go! Drop the arm! You can do this! Oh, yeah! Go, go, go! We got 40 seconds left.
After surviving their broken arm and rebuilding it twice, the Ratchet Rockers end day 2 with a win.
Should I go get cleaned up?
The Rambotics head into match 1, hoping the repairs made to their robot's arm hold together.
I'm trying, man.
The match ends in a shattering crash.
In general terms, the first round was terrible. You know, our robot died.
The pit crew replaces a faulty circuit board and brings the robot back to life. Sort of. It will now only drive in reverse. The driving team must adjust on the spot. With an amazing performance by the driver, the Ridgeview team scores enough points to remain in the hunt for the playoffs.
We're driving like awesome.
Oh, awesome!
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 Awesome! Awesome! We end today at 16th out of 43. That's not too shabby when you consider some of the problems we had.
They've survived, but will have to do even better tomorrow.
And you can do it. Got it?
All of these robots were built in only 6 weeks. The teams found out.
The rookie Robodoves line up for their first qualifying match.
I told them that I would help them develop in the preseason. I would take them through kickoff. I would help them build their robot, and I would see them to the competition. But once the competition day, we're going to have to fly on their own.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your robots.
They get off to a great start.
And the trackball stays on place. Blue line is 1 point.
That was such an awesome game. Our ranking is now 19. Our ranking.
And then something terrible happens. A drive chain problem knocks them out of commission. The team repairs the drive chain and heads to its next match.
And the Doves connect with 2, 1.
But they've lost their edge. The team's ranking takes a dive.
Our rank is 45 right now, out of 62 teams.
Too bad. I'm too angry.
Despite their setbacks, the Robodoves refuse to give up and recover some ground.
Very, very good arm operator.
Thank you. And 60 teams, we are 31. I hope the 2 games that we have tomorrow, we will do fine. So.
2 more wins. Think about it. Think about it. You keep looking up because there is no limit. Imagination is more important than knowledge. That's what the kids bring to this process. We can teach them and show them everything they need to know. But with their visualization, that's where it has to begin, and that's where it starts. A perfect blend of art and science. We've got some work to do tomorrow, okay?
Today is the 3rd day of the competition. We only have a few matches. If we win these matches, we will be in the high ranking.
Somebody told me that we are a magnificent rookie team. Because some of them, there are some teams that are really 5 years, but as if they are just a beginner. And we have a good robot. The function of the robot, it's not too fast, but the function of hurling, it's really good.
And also we are the smallest team, and we are good too.
We may lose it or we will win it, but I hope it's more on winning.
Probably your toughest matches are ahead of you. You got a team that's in 6th place that you're up against, and a team that's in 11th place that's in front of you.
Let's begin in 3, 2, 1, go!
It's day 3, the final day of competition. The rookie Robodoves start the day with a much-needed win. Their final qualifying match is critical to making the playoff rounds.
You'll do okay.
We have 2 more matches. And in the hybrid period, here comes Jacko. Taking the turn gracefully.
With their robot down in their last game, the Robodoves no longer have a chance of advancing into the playoffs. Their season is over. But as the day ends, there is a surprise.
Congratulations to the recipient of this Judges Award, Team 2528, the Robodoves.
The Robodoves win an award for their exceptional rookie performance.
I want to be an engineer.
Oh, no. I thought you wanted to be a lawyer. No more?
The Ratchet Rockers finished the repairs on their robot's arm just in time.
This is our last match as a senior, as a student.
We have a chance of winning this now.
17,
They have to score big in order to make it into the playoffs. This is the last game, and time is running out. Finally, they managed to score crucial points by knocking the ball off the overpass.
20 seconds! Go, go, go! 10 seconds! Get across the line! Cross the line! Yeah!
But it's too little, too late. The Wentzville team loses the game, and they don't advance to the playoffs.
It was fantastic, and we knocked like 1,000 balls. Okay, no, not really, but like 3 off of them, and like it was very, very exciting.
I won in my heart.
This whole experience has really changed my life. Like, I am actually seriously considering going into engineering, and I would have thought that was the total geek thing to do and all this other stuff. It's totally the geek thing to do, but you know what? I actually think it'd be extremely fun.
The Rambotics begin their final qualifying matches. To make the playoffs, they need 2 more wins and no more problems from their robot.
All right, I guess we're going. Yep.
Their robot's damaged arm and other gremlins get in the way.
We're just having some troubles with actually getting enough power to knock the ball off with our brush. So that's what we're tweaking on right now.
The robot has to be consistent, and we're not consistent right now. So everybody knows that. Everybody's watching us too.
In the end, they don't make it.
For the first time since we've been competing in FIRST Robotics, we are going to be sitting down and being spectators. We're not going to be in the championship.
But the positive attitude of the Ridgeview team has made a strong impression on their fellow competitors.
You guys just got the Spirit Award that was nominated by your peers.
Thank you and good luck!
Thank you, Mark. I mean, it was a great experience. It makes me want to come back next year and be a mentor for Ridgeview for the kids next year to help them out where we messed up.
For the Miss Daisy team, the season isn't over yet. They keep winning and find themselves ranked 2nd going into the playoffs.
We've never been undefeated, and I think we've always had at least 2 losses, so this is our best. You know, number 2 at the regional, you can't argue with number 2.
As one of the top teams, Miss Daisy must choose 2 other robots to be part of its alliance. The 3 teams will be together for the entire playoffs. Only a strong alliance can hope to reach the finals.
Team 341 would like to invite Team 365. I would like to invite Team 84.
We've had kids come into the program. You know, somebody will come in and they're just kind of like, oh, well, I'll just drill a bunch of holes and I'm out of here. And they start to realize that they need to know things to be able to achieve their goal. And next thing you know, they're taking all college-level courses, and they're getting interested in engineering.
Every match is now critical. Lose, and your season is over.
This is where it gets good.
Miss Daisy's alliance battles hard for a win in the first round. They keep charging ahead during the semifinals. And soon, the Miss Daisy alliance finds itself in the championships. But now, they're up against the toughest robots they've ever faced. An alliance of shooters. Robots that shoot the ball over the target and rack up points quickly.
But I'm seeing these two spectacular machines that have just plastered every team all the way through. And I'm looking out there and I'm saying, wow, I guess this is it.
Make some noise for Team 272!
The Cider Crusaders from Lansdale.
Let's hear it for Team 341!
Miss Daisy!
It's a best out of 3 round. The first alliance to win 2 matches will be the competition champion. In the opening match, it becomes clear Miss Daisy can't stand up to the relentless attack of the shooters. They are too slow and fall further and further behind. Miss Daisy's alliance gets crushed.
They just plastered every team all the way through, and they just plastered us. There's no way that we're gonna win this thing.
Match 2. The Miss Daisy alliance does not give up. They begin to figure out how to foil the shooter's game. Keep the balls away from them. They pick up their own scoring, and it comes down to the final seconds.
We're going to the third match! 116 to 114!
Miss Daisy wins by only 2 points. Now it's down to a single elimination match. It's the final match. The championship is on the line. And once again, it's close. Neither alliance can pull ahead. Down by 6 points. And with time running out, Miss Daisy attempts one final maneuver. They've won. But there are penalties.
Oh, crap, we have a penalty.
I didn't see them call it.
It appears both alliances interfered with each other in the heat of the battle. But Miss Daisy also racked up additional points as time ran out.
All right, there was 1 penalty on each alliance. Who wants the scores? The Blue Alliance!
It's an amazing finish.
You saw all the problems we had. We've had horrible problems, but we never took our eye off the ball. We kept sticking to the plan, and I think that's the most valuable thing they come away with. If you believe in yourself and you stick to the plan, then things will work out.
We walked away and thought to ourselves, this is probably the most powerful thing we had ever seen as a group of teachers. You have the power to change somebody's mind by mentoring these kids through this period where they are looking for things to get interested in.
One of the things about school is, you can learn the math, you can learn how to figure out problems, but until you actually get a chance to use that knowledge, it's just words or numbers on a piece of paper.
And I think the activity itself is so unique for kids at this age to be able to do this. It transforms them. It gets people interested in science and engineering.
What we do here is not magic, but it's magical. And that was magical.
Learn more at gearingupproject.org. Gearing Up is available on DVD. To order a copy, please call 1-800-729-9966 or visit www.ketc.org/store. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.